California Governor Gavin Newsom is at it again, this time targeting Tesla, the very company that helped put electric vehicles on the map. In a stunning move, Newsom's new EV tax credit would exclude Elon Musk's company. So what's behind this plan? Here with more is Lauren Fix, who wrote about this for Blaze.com. So Lauren, why is Newsom trying to single out Tesla here? It's the only American company right now building the electronic vehicles in California.
That is because, as you're probably aware, that Gavin Newsom is not a fan of Elon Musk anymore because he's part of the Trump Doge team, and he doesn't like that because remember the billions of dollars they've gotten to do their fast train that's supposed to go from San Francisco to Los Angeles, that it's never happened. I'm sure he doesn't want that money to disappear that keeps flooding into his country so he can use it, or into his state. It feels like another country, so that he can obviously use it for other things, because it's certainly not going to building a fast, high-speed train that was promised, but we didn't think that was going to happen anyhow.
Yeah, I mean, clearly that relationship is soured, to say the least, as Elon picks up and leaves to Texas, just like myself and so many others have done in the last 4 years. When you look at this, you said in the piece the details would be negotiated out in the legislature. Is this likely to go through all the way? How do you see it playing out?
Well, it's hard to tell with California. We do know for a fact that President Trump plans to, as I put it in my words of my current article, annihilate the EV mandate as well as the $7,500 tax credit. But the one thing he really needs to remove is the California Air Resources Board, which is the one that puts that California waiver in place. And this is how I see it unfolding. At the end of the last term for President Trump, he waited to the end of 4 years to go after the California Air Resources Board, and should have done it right away because it's got to go through the courts. And it's going to most likely going to be a long haul to get that done. But once that's removed, what we gain from that is that all those 17 states that are in lockstep with California and the rest of the country will not have to follow the mandate. If California wants to make a rule, great, have a party. But the fact is, the rest of the country doesn't want to be forced into something they don't want to do, which we've written about and put into the Blaze under the Align section on no RVs. You can't drive anything but an electric car, and just more restrictions and higher costs, which is really what his plan is all along. And this guy wants to run for president, scares the heck out of most of us. But the bottom line is, if he can't have his California Resources Board, then he'll offer it to just anyone that sells in California, except Tesla, because obviously he's already moved his home base to Texas, which was a pretty smart move.
Yeah, and Elon Musk, he's a guy who likes to win, right? Donald Trump says you're not going to get tired of winning. Elon is now right there in lockstep with him. So is he going to be fighting back in more ways than just moving to Texas?
Well, I expect that Elon Musk is going to love to see that mandate go away, because if you take away that electric vehicle mandate, that means he has no competition. So no longer does he have to worry about Ford, GM, Toyota, Honda, any of them, Hyundai for that matter, because he will be the main electric vehicle manufacturer, which he is now. He owns about 66% of the market share. He is one of the three one of the three US made car companies. You've got Ford, GM, and Tesla. Stellantis is no longer here. It is based in Belgium with our tax dollars, mind you, that went to Fiat Chrysler, and then they sold it. And then they sold it again. So now it's Stellantis out of Belgium. So again, we're going to see a lot of changes happening in the marketplace. Not allowing Chinese cars into this country is actually a very good move. But the fact that Elon Musk can control the electric vehicle market, if you want to buy one, you should buy one. If you want to buy one from another brand, it should be available to you. But every brand has said, we take a loss on these vehicles. And if we can sell vehicles we make money on, then we can hire more people and develop better vehicles that consumers want.
It really is crazy when, we live in a supposed democracy and you have the pettiness of these battles, right, influencing millions of people. It cracks me up to no end. The other, of course, I guess I should be used to it. We live in a society in which a lot of these people's moms and dads were also in politics in our democratic blue states. I want to go to something, speaking of legacy, Jaguar. You wrote a piece recently for Blaze News on Jaguar's failed billion-dollar rebrand. We've talked about it on the show before. We all saw the ad. I'm curious, what do you think the effects of this will be? We've talked about how crazy it is that they did this. Do we already see any signs of how this is going to go? And how do you play this out for us into the future? What do you think will happen?
Well, I should give a little background on it for those of you. And I race a Jaguar, so to me this is it tears my heart out. And I've owned older Jaguars and newer ones. So in the past, Jaguar was known for racing history, and at one point they got into trouble because the British government decided they wanted to run the auto industry, and so Jaguar ended up selling to a couple of companies and eventually to Ford. Ford sold off Jaguar Land Rover to Tata, which is an Indian car company. Rutan Tata was a genius. He's in the Automotive Hall of Fame. But he passed away about 6 months ago. And Land Rover has really done well with the Defender and the Range Rover Sport, but they also own Jaguar. And instead of using the undercarriages of a Land Rover and putting what we call different hats on it, different bodies, instead they're going to do something completely different. And what really killed me is the marketing person they hired said, we don't want our old customers. I've never heard of that before. If you were a coffee shop and you sold coffee, you decided to add donuts, you wouldn't say, I don't want my coffee customers, I just want my donut customers. You're never going to make it. You have to keep your existing base and add to that. So by making this androgynous, obscure commercial that never showed a car, we waited for it to come to Art Basel, which is out of Miami, to see the vehicle. I waited to see it before I made any commentary. And I was disappointed. It looked like a Chrysler Crossfire married a Chrysler 300 and then bolted an air conditioner on the front and the back. It's obscure. Will it sell? Not at $250,000. It won't, because I don't think those androgynous people are enough of them out there to purchase a $250,000 electric car.
Amen.
It'll make a statement, but I fear for the brand.
It hurts our hearts as well. Lauren Fix, great stuff as always.
Yes.